from Seoul, Korea, and welcome to yet another day of the GSL Codes Tasteless.
I am Artosis.
Yes, you are. And we are here where we're actually finally getting deeper and deeper and deeper into this tournament. This is where it really starts to get exciting. It is now 2 best of 5s, and I got to say, I think these matches today should be pretty close. I think maybe, and I know a lot of people will not like me saying this, I think maybe Alive over MMA, and the other group, or the other pair, I don't know. Maybe Gumio,
any two players can come out, and I won't be surprised. Okay, I absolutely won't.
That's a good way to put it.
But Alive has gone through this transformation in the past few weeks, where he was just another Terran, and then suddenly he was like, and he ripped off his outfit, and he had a Super Alive emblem, and he flew through the air, making nothing but siege tanks.
Dude, he played so perfectly. Also, by the way, be sure to participate on our polls on the site. It's actually, it's a lot of fun for me and you to just see, some of the percentages some of these guys get. Some players only getting 3, then they get out of their group at first.
Yeah.
So you can do that. We actually use those stats. We throw them up on screen. So it's a great way for you to participate with the show. So definitely try that out.
And that's how you make your mark. You're like, I'm 0.1 of that.
Yeah. You could be the 1%.
And imagine if it was like 51.1%, and you're like, that's me, that little thing on the end. They didn't have to write that unless I voted.
You get to have that feeling, man.
Yeah.
The world is watching. We tend to get a lot more people tuning in live for this phase of the tournament because it's so epic. In the group stages, it's sort of like, well, tell me what the good games are, and I'll check them out later. I'll let my hardcore friend tune in for that. So here is the race makeup right now in the tournament. You can see, actually, for the first time, it's more Protoss heavy. 3 Terrans, 4 Protosses, and only 1 Zerg.
We have never had a top 8 with 4 Protosses. That has never happened. I believe we had 1 with 3, and then most of the time it was quite a bit less.
I think the Protoss players are starting to figure the game out. They had some units that were not as straightforward to use. The Marauder makes a lot of sense why it's strong, but a unit like the Immortal, really mastering a unit like that's not easy. And I think the Protoss players are starting to learn. They're starting to adapt. And, metagame is a real thing. Metagame being the way everybody that's good is playing the game at this point in time. And, when does that start to slowly shift as people start to catch on and say, wait a minute, all these Terrans are going, Marine Marauder. Maybe I should try to do something that, if I can survive in the late game, is better. All these Zergs are double expanding. Maybe I need to make a proxy pylon and do a +1, Zealot Warpin, stuff like that. So it's interesting to see the Protoss is doing well, at least for this season of the GSL Codes.
It is a lot of excitement, Tasteless. I love to see the races switch up who's doing well, who's not. It's really fun, especially fun when everyone is like, oh, now this race is Imba.
Oh, I know. That's like actually the forever bronze mind. It's like, now it's not fair for me here. I'm like, okay. Complain too much. That's why you're not going anywhere in the ladder in life.
Yeah.
Accept the challenge.
Well, here's our round of 8. Today, Fnatic Alive and Slayers MMA. Also Gumiho and Puzzle. Saw those other brackets. Pretty exciting stuff. BRG, MC, Genius, and the likes. All right, here's our players for today. Fnatic Alive, MMA. Well, they're going right through here, Taste.
They're going right to it. He looks gentle, but he's not. It's Alive. He is deadly nerdy.
He does look so gentle.
He does. And, of course, here is one of our more handsome players.
And
MMA.
he is handsome.
And he is very handsome. And he's going to be a real threat to Alive. But who knows? Alive might just do it. Gumiho. He has got a very unique play style. He kind of throws more at his opponent than even Gumiho can handle multitasking. But
really great player, though.
Works and also is great with a Viking Harass. And finally, we have our Protoss player of the day, Slayer's Puzzle.
That's right. Puzzle has been one of the better Protoss for quite some time. He's off and on, but he is more on than off lately.
Yeah. You're right. He's been a little bit inconsistent, but when you really look at, his results, I guess you could say, and how far he's gotten in tournaments, he's solid, man. Gumiho and Puzzle, I don't have any idea what that's going to look like.
Oh, I know. It's going to be so difficult to actually predict what's going to go on there. I feel like Gumiho is such a multitasker. Can Puzzle keep up with that? Will Puzzle adapt his style to deal with that, such as very aggressive timing attacks? I don't know. But let's talk about this match first, because that's what we're going to see first. Fnatic's Alive against Slayers MMA. MMA is a player that has historically done very well against the King of Mech MVP, but I have to say that Alive in the last round showed Mech that was superior to MVPs. It was simply superior. He was not taking any risks. He was crossing every T, dotting every missile turret, and it looked unstoppable from a bio standard. So will he go for that again, or will he go back to his old style, which is Marine Tank? We're going to have to see.
Yeah, it's a tough call, to be totally honest. Because, you know, if you're basing it off of stats, you'd probably have to go with MMA. But then, you know,
absolutely.
I mean, sometimes stats are not as important as how well are they playing right now.
Alive was not an especially good Terran a few weeks ago. I looked at him, I'm like, you're very good, but your standard, you're just kind of in the pack.
And right now we can see MMA has the Asian face mask virus. No, that's actually, I get a lot of people asking me why, you know, in some parts of Asia, do they wear masks? It's a courtesy if you're sick, you have a bad cough, that you're not going to cough into the people.
You know, if you're not sick and you wear it, you're more likely to get sick.
Yeah,
more bacteria builds up.
It's actually also makes you look like a ninja, which is kind of cool.
That is cool. Or a surgeon. Maybe he's going to remove this nerd's heart.
Ooh, that was good, Artosis. So the map is the first map, excuse me, is going to be dual site, and we're going to have to see if Alive is going to play the same way he played last time. If he does, MMA is going to have a hard time. If Alive is not as consistent, he's going to have some trouble. That thing in Alive's hand right now, that is a hot pack, in case you're confused. I get asked that a lot as well. One of these little things they have, you shake it up and it keeps your hands warm, and of course, it's important to have warm hands, and the fastest, hardest game ever made, StarCraft 2. So get ready for Alive going up against MMA here in the GSL Code S. I feel like I had chameleon eyes for a second. Oh, look at this. This is so badass.
What a beautiful map.
Now we can actually see the
I never liked dual sight until now.
I love that. This is exactly why GOMTV actually is the best, because they do stuff like that. All right, so over here in the upper right, in the red, we have none other than
Tasus, run up the ramp quick. It's your chance.
It's our chance right now.
Fnatic Alive.
Wow. As you can see, he's been doing very well as of late. 8-2.
It's pretty sick. It's good
pretty
job.
Impressive. You can see he's very focused. He really wants this. All right, his opponent on the other side of the map, a GSL champion, and certainly a big challenge. He is
Slayers MMA.
Wow, a lot of support here for MMA.
Well, he is a constant fan favorite, no doubt about that. And look at that, 9-1.
Man.
Whoa, that's the only thing better than 8-2. Well, one of the only two things.
Yeah.
You're like 10-0. I'm like, no, that's bragging.
All right.
Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
All right, so these two are complete badasses, man. I can't wait to see how this goes down. Both players are getting gases, but MMA's a lot later this game.
There's a lot of different ways to play TBT on this map early game. It's definitely going to be tough. I think Alive is more than aware that his opponent is the favorite right now. Oh, nice. Deflected that SCV right before he could get up the ramp by making a depot there.
Wow, and that's very annoying for Alive. He really wants to get in there and see, do you have gas? That's what he wants to look for, but looks like he's going to have to run away from there because he does not want to lose his SCV to a Marine. That would be silly.
That would be sucky, too, not just silly.
That would be.
Looks like the orbital's done.
Same thing happened to his opponent. So MMA unable to get in, Tasteless.
They're both in the dark then. And we do see MMA now going for a tech lab.
That's kind of a negative outlook. They're both in the dark. I would say they both have only the light in their bases.
Ah. You're much more of an optimist, Artosis.
Yeah, I am. That's who I am, Tasteless. All right, so we have a Reaper build from MMA. Good, solid build. Good opener. On the other hand, Alive, throwing down his second gas, Tasteless, as we see in that production tab. as well as a factory and a reactor.
Things are starting to pick up a little bit. We're going to get a better idea of what they're doing as time passes. The second gas for Alive is now finishing. The Reaper is almost out.
Now, that Reaper, what will it be able to do here? There are 2 Marines out right now, so there's this little period of time where there's not a lot of Marines. The reactor not quite done yet. The Reaper may be able to get up and actually scout what's going on, which is, in fact, 2 gases and a starport. It really looks like we're going to be seeing a Banshee, most likely a cloaked one, coming from Alive. And I have to say, Cloaked Banshee, my favorite personal way of transitioning into mech play in Terran vs. Terran.
Yeah, I love it as well. And it looks like this is going to be sniped.
Wow.
And, yes,
all right,
cornered and killed. MMA's Reaper literally did not get any intel whatsoever. I mean, seeing 2 Marines is really nothing.
And he did not even see the reactor. All he saw is there was no command center right there. So if I'm him right now, I'm like, okay, you went gas. You didn't build your command center somewhere funny.
Yeah, that's really smart.
So I would just assume that at this point. And in fact, Alive getting a Raven.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this is definitely a setup for mech, it looks like.
Yes.
Note that in the stats, MMA, was it like, I believe it was 79-point-something%.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
That is a lot of percentages.
That's a heavy, it's heavy favorite.
Well, I guess
there
it's
by
not
our
group,
audience.
but yeah. That's kind of crazy, man.
But that wasn't even out of the group. That was just out of these 2 players.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, okay. So the Marines have moved down. They can't really do much. MMA has plenty of Marines himself. That scan not hitting a whole lot, but I mean, you kind of know what's going on here. MMA is not a mech user. And look at this. Combat Shields is done for MMA, but that Hellion adding a ton of damage for Alive.
And these Marines are going to die before they can get up the ramp. There's no way with the Hellion damaging him like that. And now heading towards the entrance. There's just more Marines.
Yeah, there certainly are.
Going for the tech lab? No, now going for the depot, excuse me.
And the SCV's coming out. I've got to get a nice little lead here, but more Marines popping out for MMA. Will he get that depot?
He's repairing.
And here comes the Raven.
I wonder if we'll throw an auto turret. Yeah.
Oh my God! Alive just auto turret rushed.
I've never seen this before. I've never thought of anything like this. This is so smart. And he's now going to get the tech lab, so no stim.
Absolutely.
Does this actually
fantastic.
work? Can you do this? This is crazy.
First time I've seen an auto turret rush, Stasis. Who needs a Banshee?
I guess it makes sense.
And the thing is, he's going to have enough for another auto turret soon. He has more Marines
he can actually auto turret push.
He has a siege tank coming, for God's sake, Tasteless.
Dude, this is like changing everything that I understand conventionally about TVT. Oh my God.
This is fantastical. 2 auto turrets are out. The Banshee is
comes
out.
in, and the turret can kind of cover the Banshee.
Remember, he got the tech lab that had stim going in it. He might just go ahead and
He might
kill.
just die.
I think he might just kill MMA, man.
Nerd might be killed, man. I don't know.
Tank is here. What are you going to do against a tank and 2 auto turrets?
The auto turret, by the way, is not going away anytime soon. The first one's still halfway health. The SCV is coming down here. I would say it right now, guys. I think he's going to have to tap out.
And another thing I got to say, Taste, is Alive actually stopped Micron there for a little bit. He should have pulled back to his auto turrets. Twice he did it too slow, and now he's lost not only his Banshee, but all of the Marines that were originally there. So a little bit of a mistake there by Alive. This has been slowed down quite a bit at this point.
The attack could still keep going, but yeah, he definitely did miss Micro there. And don't forget, he's going to have enough for another auto turret here soon.
Indeed he is. Another tank has come up. Still a little bit more
mode is done.
Alive. Oh my God. 3 auto turrets out. Alive with such an interesting strategy right now. I can't believe
I am so shocked. I can only imagine what the Terran players, some of Protoss players, are thinking right now watching this. This is a build, you just do this build on the ladder against somebody who's doing one of these more standard builds, and they lose, man.
This is absolutely crazy, man. Alive coming up with something quite original. The auto turrets are just so worthwhile right now. The Raven already has 5 kills because of them. Even making a Viking, realizing, you know, the Viking's going to be on land. That's going to be pretty helpful. I think I'll get that. And it's just, this is awesome, man. He's just crushing through MMA right now.
I am so shocked. Okay, it's definitely 100% over now. There's no way to turn this game around. GG.
Wow.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, that build was so sick.
That was indeed
You could see MMA had like never experienced anything like that before. He was just there like, what?
Wow. That is like, what a build that is. That's so cool, so neat. I gotta wonder what happens if MMA kept his Marines all up his ramp, because that ramp doesn't get broken with that many Combat Shield Marines. It's when he had the smaller amount of Marines out on the map against a Hellion plus Marines that allowed Alive to kind of avalanche his way to a victory.
Well, you know what's also interesting about it is you never really think about it, but actually the auto turret just doesn't go away.
That thing lives a long time. It has a lot of hit points. You can repair it.
Yeah.
Its countdown timer is quite large. It's very good as a little support. Yeah, we only see it used later on because no one gets a Raven real quick. But in this case, that was so smart because he can still get Banshees. He still got a Banshee.
Yeah.
He still got a Banshee. Yeah, he did. But he didn't need it right away. What he wanted was the quicker Raven to have more energy for more auto turrets.
Yeah, it was funny because the auto turret's 50 energy, and he could just throw that auto turret out there. And 50 energy is like nothing, man. Yeah. That's like,
ain't no thing.
That comes back so quickly.
He got 3 of them.
Yeah. And they were all still there. And he even messed up a little bit with his micro with that push. He could have killed them a little bit quicker.
Oh, he messed up like twice, yeah.
Yeah, where he lost all his Marines. But
totally cool build.
If he was just a little bit more focused on top of his army during that, I wonder what builds that actually beats. Because it certainly beat MMA's build, MMA's build was getting a lot of stuff early on. You know, he had 3 racks.
Well, it's cool because he's following up with siege tanks as well. So even if you hold that ramp, it's going to become problematic eventually.
Yeah.
Well, the next map, Entombed Valley. This is a map that last time we saw live play, he turtled on 3 bases, maxed on mech, made a turret ring, and then crushed his opponent who thought that Bionic was something you could do against mech. No. Will he do that again? And will MMA, someone who just is so darn good that he can make almost anything work almost all the time, will he be able to get through this?
Well, that was definitely a hiccup in the momentum from MMA right at the start.
Yeah.
I mean, to lose in a tournament where you're like, what was that build that he just threw at me?
Yeah.
And MMA's probably thinking, does that really work?
Is that real build? What just happened?
Can you actually do that all the time?
Should I be angry?
I don't know. You know, you have the 2 where you place them in the ladder and they do something that just blows your mind.
Yeah.
And you lose and you're sort of mad that you lost, but actually you're really just thinking,
what was that?
What was that? Can you do that? Is that a fluke?
And then I watched the replay and they hit an expansion every time.
Every time. All right. Game number 2 between Alive and MMA. Let's see if MMA can stop Alive. He's got a lot of momentum going for him right now.